you individually during the show, but I do want to let you know I do see all the comments, all the love, all the hearts, and everything helps the show and everything. So I really, really appreciate you being here, showing up, your support. I want to encourage you to write on the comment box and just to write your questions, concerns, whatever it is, but do keep it respectful because this is a featured show. I repeat, this is a feature show, okay? So this is not your regular streams. It's a little bit different. We do have a format that we have to follow. And thanks Emoji J for dropping the info on the comment box. As you guys can see, that is my Instagram and that is Emoji J's Instagram. If you guys want to be a guest on the show, feel free to connect with my admin Emoji J, and please feel free to connect with me on IG. I do always reply if you're respectful, so make sure to connect with me. Also, you can see a little bit more about what I do, how I do it, and why I have this feature show. And also it has to do with the topic of the day today, because there was a couple of reasons I wanted to choose this topic today. Reason number one, my two amazing guests today are, one is a streamer that has been here since 2020, and the other one is a newer streamer. So I figured this topic today, complemented by me also, my experience, would be really helpful for everyone watching today. I think that this is something that if you're a streamer or if you're part of the audience, but you have your own business, or I think we can use it for absolutely everything. And today's topic will be announced after I tell you who I am and what is Own It all about. I got you there, I'm gonna make you wait for it. So you guys, my name is Cicely. I go by That Cuban Girl here on the app and on my YouTube. And basically I am Cuban. I grew up in Cuba, but I've been in the States for many years. I have spent the last 10 years living in Los Angeles because I am pursuing a career in entertainment. I have been doing many things in the entertainment industry, from acting to modeling to being a ring girl for boxing, to being a former Miss Cuba. I have done many beauty pageants. You name it, I have done it in entertainment. And I'm also a streamer. I've been on the app for a year now. And thank you, kid. And, you know, it's just been an amazing journey of self-discovery and also learning to share what I know. And there are many things that I have learned being in entertainment that are very useful for the streamers and in the streaming community. And that's also one of the reasons why, and it has everything to do with the topic of the day, that I also have my real Instagram that I share with you guys, because I think that is a huge part of branding if you're a streamer and if you're trying to be in the public eye. I do understand that a lot of you, many of you, are not interested in mixing the streaming world with your real world. But for me, I don't really mind it because it's part of my branding. And if I wasn't proud of being a streamer, I simply would not be a streamer. And that is just the best way I have to describe why I don't mind sharing my name and my Instagram with you guys. So today, with that said, also, hold on, before I go to the topic of the day, I do want to let you know that Own It is all about becoming the best versions of ourselves through owning the uniqueness of who we are. And that is very important. Also has to do with the topic of the day. I think that if you own who you are, that is the best way to become your best version. Simply own who you are, understand who you are, and simply being you and being okay with who you are. With that said, I do want to share a couple of things with you guys. I am going to be assisting I guess going to Life Fest, and oh my gosh, is it next week already? In like a week and a half. I'm so excited. From November 3rd to November 5th, I will be at Life Fest. So if you are going to Life Fest, yes, I will see you there. Please please make sure that you connect with me, make sure that we take photos, that we hug each other, that we meet each other, because that is the main reason I want to go to Life Fest, is so I can connect with all of you guys who have been friends with on here for a year. And even though I don't stream as often as I used to before, you guys are a huge part of my family. You know, you guys are all amazing. I've made amazing friends on here. And yes, thank you for the favorites, by the way, not just for me, but for my admin and for my guests today. I do want to remind you to please show my guest support just by going to their streams later, by sharing favorites with them, by asking them questions, just connecting. I think this is the most important part about feature shows, is the fact that we can all connect with each other. And that is my biggest mission with this feature show, to add value into your lives, but also so we can all connect and put each other out there, right? So welcome to Own It. This is hopefully your favorite feature show here, happening on Tuesdays on the Meet Me platform. And it's at 5 p.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. Pacific time. I am Cicely, aka That Cuban Girl. And please connect with me on Instagram and on YouTube. You can find me on YouTube as That Cuban Girl. With that said, let's move on to our topic today. And I hope it's a topic that you guys are really going to like. I hope so. Oh, my nose is itchy. Excuse me. Today's topic is branding. How to get your audience to trust your brand. Topic of the day, branding and how to get your audience to trust your brand. And branding, yes. And I think I wanted to really focus on this because I know I do a lot of shows, a lot of episodes on here. By the way, today's episode 55. Yay. I do a lot of episodes on here talking about spiritual stuff and inner things, because I do believe that that is the most important way and the fastest way to attract the things that you want. But also there has to be some tangible tips and tangible actions you can take so we become better. And the reason I created this topic, like I mentioned before, is because one of my guests today has been a streamer since 2020. He's been here for a while. And then he or she, anyways, excuse me. He or she, I'm sorry. They've been here for a while. And my other guest has been here for, she's a new streamer. So I figured it would be a great way to have conversations about branding, and also me talking about my input and sharing tips on how I do it. One of the tips that I can give you, I guess, is that, and I already talked about it, I do like to mix my personal Instagram, well, personal, but it's public really, because of everything I do is public, modeling and etc., with my streaming world. And I think that's very important, because when we're trying to brand ourselves, we're trying to grow our network and grow our reach and grow our visibility. So if you guys go to my Instagram and check my Instagram, you will realize that it's very professional. I don't necessarily have a ton of followers, but I don't think that matters ultimately that much. It does matter. But I think even if you have less followers, to have an appealing Instagram and an Instagram that's aesthetically good looking is very important. And I think having also a social media that people can tell right away what you're about and what your brand is about is extremely important. And so I want to invite you all, thank you so much. I want to invite you all to really pay attention to this, especially if you're a streamer, and especially if you're a streamer who wants to put your business out there, or have people buy your services, whatever it is. I think it's very, 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 very important. So with that said, before I go and I welcome my first guest of the day on this beautiful episode 55 of Own It, I want to invite you, welcome to Own It. This is Cicely, aka That Cuban Girl. And this is my feature show that happens here on the Meet Me platform / sister platforms every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. Pacific time. Every single favorite is very much appreciated, you guys. I am trying to reach 5,000 before the end of the year. And of course, I know it's going to happen because I'm almost there. But thank you for the favorites, for the support, for the hearts, for the gifts. I see it all and I appreciate it all. And without further ado, I would like to invite my very first guest of the day to the box. Please, everybody, give a warm welcome to NorCal. She is a streamer since 2020. She's the creator of DJ Battles on the app, and she's also going to Live Fest. Everybody, welcome NorCal to Own It.
Wow, I get this big, huge box. Yay!
Hi, how are you?
Get over here. Thank you, everyone, for pulling up and supporting that Cuban girl, because she's just amazing and she's absolutely beautiful. And I'm glad that she's talking about branding, because branding is a huge part of being an influencer, and not only on this app but across the board on a lot of the apps. We use this platform to promote ourselves on, another platform that we are influencers on. And being consistent with our name is super important as well. So I'm not sure if you go by the Cuban Girl on your other platform, but I love it because not only is she beautiful, but she holds a title in her country with the crown. She's a queen. I've been on your show already once, and so I kind of know the drill. But today I just wanted to talk about kind of my venture recently in owning it. And everyone, I'm very transparent in my streams. I lost my mom from cancer of last year, and it was an epic experience for me emotionally, mentally, physically. And kind of threw me into a really dark hole of depression. And I really had to get out of it and do a life audit and kind of figure out where I'm going, what I'm doing with my life, and make my mom proud. So I did a life audit at the beginning of the year, and it just kind of like was a Titanic hitting an iceberg. I also ended up with some severe medical issues, which was kind of ironic. I mean, someone who's dealing with a parent or, a close family member or friend who is dying of cancer, your body takes a toll. So I started to get a lot of medical issues that were coming up, as far as, gastro and, things, bleeding ulcers, like my hair, I had to get it done recently because it was so white from grays. That's what stress will do to you. If you see all of the presidents who get into the White House, they look, pretty sharp. And by the end of the presidency, they look like they're rode hard and put away wet. They've got a ton of gray hair. And when I've noticed that if you look at the pictures and you put them, it's a very stressful job. And dealing with someone and advocating for their care is also a very stressful situation. And, being in the medical field and not being able to save my mom, it took a toll on me. But I want to make her proud. So back to the life audit. I did a life audit, and I decided that I needed to start taking care of myself, putting myself forward, because you cannot take care of other people if you are not taking care of yourself. It's kind of like, trying to you can't pour water into a cup, if it's got a hole out the bottom. I mean, it's just continuously like, pouring out. And I want a cup that you pour in and it overflows so that I'm able to give to other people and show up in my best version of myself and be authentic and, not be the person who is like stressed out. So I really did a complete switch on my life. And that is dealing with my medical first. And then I decided, after realizing, the whole experience of navigating through advocating for my mom's health, when she had cancer, that I just wasn't supported by my work. My work wasn't giving me enough time off to help her. I could have taken 3 months off. Thank you, Jen. I could have taken 3 months off, and been there and spend more time. And there's a lot of regret that I'm still holding for not doing that, because I can never take that back. And anyone who has a parent or a loved one who is in a position like that, please take the time off. Don't worry about your work. Your work is going to be doing just fine without you. Me, I'm a hard worker. I get up every day. I'm hitting the floor running. I supervise a surgery floor. I've always been kind of that upper management. I got to be there. I got to make sure everyone, things run smoothly, yada, yada, yada. So after my mom died, I went back to work, and I just felt like I wasn't getting that support from them. And I made the decision to not go back to work. And that was kind of a situation where I went out on disability for my medical situation. And I was getting bombarded with phone calls and text messages. When are you coming back? When are you coming back? When are you coming back? We can't find this. We can't find that. It's like, well, if you can't I felt like I'm the mom, come on. If you can't open up the door and look on the second shelf, thank you for the pumpkins. There should be some like bags up there. Come on. I mean, if it was a snake, it would have bit you, and it got to the point where I'm like, these people really need to step up, because I cannot be there holding their hands through the whole entire process. And just the consistent bombardment of, my employer, just throwing a fit. I quit my job. I told them I'm not coming back. And I'm very fortunate that I don't really have to struggle financially right now. And I'm very blessed in that way. But I'm going to change my direction into doing a boot camp class through MIT. And that is artificial intelligence in the healthcare. So I won't be directly seeing patients, but and in my mother's honor of her passing away from cancer, I felt like I could contribute to the medical field with my knowledge of treating patients, but helping physicians diagnose elements and diseases way before they progress into like a stage 3, 4, a lot of preventative stuff. And so that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a couple of months off to heal myself and still go through that grieving process, and then dive deep into a 6-month course and get back into the medical field and do something that I feel like it's your purpose in life. What is your purpose? Because your purpose will change as you continue to grow. You start off, you go to college, you get your general education, and then you start working. And then you realize, okay, well, maybe this is my purpose, or maybe this isn't my purpose. Or you have a situation that comes in your life and you are, the direction changes, such as losing a loved one or experiencing, a historical event. There's so many different directions. My best advice for anyone that's out there, if you are not happy where you're at, whether it's in a relationship, it's your career, it's your home life, it's your friend group, whatever it is, make a change. You have to make a change. Block and protect your peace and happiness. And that's where I've decided to own my own peace and happiness, because peace and happiness is an inside job. And if you are not accountable for it, no one else is going to do it for you. So you do you, boo-boo, okay? And even if you have to, take a risk, or you have to, get yourself out there, and it's scary, but I guarantee you in the end, it will come back, because life is so short. and you really need to just do something that you are consistent at, and that when you jump out of bed in the morning and you want to go. Just like with Cuban Girl, I see her all over the place. She's like a little Energizer bunny. She here, she there, she doing this, she all over the place. But she loves what she does. So when people are really put in that position, getting up really early in the morning, going to a set, getting your hair done, getting your makeup done, and it's early in the morning and doing an event, that's passion, So find your passion.
100%.
Yeah, find your
100%.
passion.
I want to take a quick break, and I want to welcome everybody to the show. Welcome to Own It. This is a feature show with me, that Cuban Girl. And this show happens here on the platform every single Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific Time. The intention with Own It is for you and I to become the best versions of ourselves through owning the uniqueness of who we are. And NorCal, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your story. And first of all, I'm so sorry about your loss. But I see your strength, and I see how much you are working on yourself and how much courage it takes for you to quit a job that I'm sure you were doing for a long time. Before we continue, I want to give a shout out to one of my BFFs on the app, Legend. And I'm saying this right now because last week you came on the show and then you left, and then I owe you a bouncer power, Legend. So I wanted to say that before you leave, okay? Basically what happens at the end of the show is whoever's my top supporter of the stream gets to become a bouncer. And if they already are a bouncer, they get to assign that to somebody else. So that's why I'm saying that to Legend right now. Anyways, thank you, NorCal, for sharing your story. I'm sure that a lot of us can relate in some shape or form, and you're so courageous for being open and authentic about that. So I just want to ask you, with that, you're owning that aspect of your life right now. So how do you think that you're bringing all of that knowledge and everything you've gone through to the app, and what is your goal with the app as a streamer?
Absolutely. So again, I've been on the app for 4 years, going to be 4 years. And started off in 2020, and during the pandemic, it was crazy. It was a wild west. And I love live streaming. Whether I am here as a top badge, I did fill out my application as a top badge, or not. That's up to the app to decide if they think I'm worthy. Here, if I ever get a featured show or not. I just absolutely love live streaming and the people that I've met. I really think that this is therapeutic for me because I'm very transparent in my streams. And I think showing up as your authentic self is the best blessing that you can give anybody. It's hard sometimes to show up as yourself. But I can't fake it. And I think that when you do, you're relatable, and people can see you as, the word I want to use is vulnerable. You are able to break the wall, the barriers between another person, and really, make some friendships on here, which I have. Streaming, when you get on streaming, there are many people that, start the journey. I mean, for me, I got on here because I was looking for a man. And I'm going to be very transparent with it. But that was a hot mess. And there are a lot of people being kicked out of here. Boys cannot behave down there. So be respectful. I know, right? Be respectful. That's all we ask. So to make a long story short, I did not find a man. And so I ended up becoming a live streamer. If that comes along at some point in time during the journey, I am okay with that. The door is always open. I'm never going to close the door on any opportunities. I also DJ myself. I use my app to promote DJs. And when I finally get to a point where I'm going to DJ again, I will, use that to promote myself as a DJ. But I think just kind of wrapping everything up, I use this app to escape from reality. Our day to day, it's super crazy. We're constantly, running around with our heads cut off. And those of us that are not out, out running the streets, the real streets, not the meet me streets, but the real streets out there, it's kind of hard for us, because I'm not into the bar scene or the whatever scene that's out there. I'm not into that. So it's really a great platform to network with people. And however that connection starts and continues is really up to whoever I make that connection with. And so like I said, I genuinely just love live streaming, and however it is going to, the final result of it, I don't know. I like to live in the present. I don't want to live in the past where, that doesn't exist anymore. It's made me who I am right now, but I try to live in the present and enjoy the moments where I'm not missing out on those, what I call Kodak memories. So every memory that I have, even being on your show right now with you, this is the present. I'm focused on the present with you. Try to be in the present. We are making a memory. I've already made an amazing memory with you just, this year. And here I am back on the show. So these are the Kodak moments that I call very, very special, in my journey in life. And you always remember oh yeah, I was on this show, I was on that show, I met this person. So I'm here to make Kodak memories. Yeah. Pretty much. I love that.
And thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And just to be able to meet you and other people at Live Fest is just the icing on the cake. Finally getting a vacation, just finally getting a vacation.
I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm going to start an Instagram DM group chat with the people that I know are going to Live Fest, so we can all connect when we're there. I'm super excited to meet everyone.
I am super excited for you as well.
I'm excited for you, and I'm so proud of you. You look beautiful, and I'm so grateful that you came on my show again, and that we're talking about this. It's not over. I would love to have you back in the box at the end of the show if you can stay. So everybody, please go show love to NorCal, favor her, all the things, and she's gonna be back in a little bit, okay? Thank you, NorCal. And I just want to say, you guys, welcome to Own It. I see every single one of you who is tuning in, who is clicking on the hearts automatically. Thank you. I appreciate you, whoever you are. Thank you for the love, for the favorites, for the gifts. It means a lot. I'm here every Tuesday. I've gotten really bad at streaming on my own private time because I'm very busy. If you connect with me on Instagram, that is the easiest way for you to connect with me, through DMs, because I'm always there. I'm not here that often, except for Tuesdays. This is where you can find me, okay, on the feature show. But thank you, Peter, for the hearts. I just want to say I appreciate you all. I see everybody in the comment box, and I see everybody just sharing the love, and that makes me extremely grateful to be able to have this platform and connect with you guys. With that said, welcome to Own It. If you're new, welcome. My name is Cicely. I go by That Cuban Girl, and you can find me on, like I mentioned, IG, and you can find me on YouTube as That Cuban Girl. And I'm a streamer on here. I've been a streamer for a year, and I love connecting with you guys. And the intention with Own It is for you and I to own the uniqueness of who we are, because I wholeheartedly believe that only through owning who we are authentically, we can be successful at anything we want to do and become. So with that said, I want to invite you to stay all the way to the end of the show, because we still have a lot of more things happening today that I'm super excited. We still have another guest. We have the quote of the day, the tip of the day, even though we've been giving tips throughout. And I am going to be recognizing the top gifter streamer, top gifter supporter of the stream at the very end. And that person is going to join my bouncing family as a thank you to them. Also, I owe Legend a bouncer. So I don't know how that's going to work out. I hope he's here later, but okay, so let me give a quick shout out to you guys who've been supporting the stream today, because it's really important to me. Your support means the world. And I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. The show could not be the show without you guys showing up and sharing your energy with me. So number 10, I can never pronounce this name. I see you all the time. I'm sorry. Lugs, right? Is it Lugs? Lugz hearts. Thank you, Lugs. Number 9, Lucky Phil. Number 8, Velma. Thank you. Number 7, Cariño. Number 6, Hidalgo. Number 5, Moody Andrew. Thanks, Moody. Number 4, Kid Sensation. Gracias. Number 3, Sin City Roberts. Everybody goes favorite. These are like my friends. I love these people. Sin City Robert, Kid Sensation, Moody Andrews, Velma. Everybody go favorite them, please. And a number 2, Legend. Thank you so much for showing up. And number 1 is NorCal, who was just here as my guest, and she's going to be coming back. Thank you, NorCal. I really appreciate you. So that is my top 10 right now, as of right now. Thank you, guys. Okay, I'm going to share with you the quote of the day, and I'm going to expand a little bit on the topic. So the topic of today is branding and how to get your audience to trust your brand. And like I mentioned before at the beginning of the show, I chose this topic because one thing I have learned, and trust me, it's taken me a long time to learn this, okay, is that branding in whatever it is that we do, I don't care if you don't have a business, if you're not an influencer, and whatever we do, we are always branding ourselves, whether we are consciously doing it or not. Most of us have social media. If you're here, most likely you have social media of some sort. And so that means that if you are not consciously branding yourself, you are unconsciously branding yourself. I know I'm not supposed to, but thank you, Chris. So what does that mean? Well, that means that we should be a little bit more aware on how we are branding ourselves and the message that we are telling people, the message that we're sharing with others when it comes to our branding. That's why I was mentioning at the beginning of the show, I am not a huge fan of not having your socials linked with your streaming personally. It's a very personal choice. I know we're all different, but that is a very important part of branding. And I've always mentioned that if I wasn't proud of being a streamer, I simply wouldn't be a streamer. So with that said, it's very important that we brand ourselves and that we are consciously doing so. Okay, so the quote of the day based on the topic of the day is, Chris, you're the best, is brand is the story, design is the storytelling. Brand is the story, design is the storytelling. So what does that mean? What do you guys think that means, you guys? Do you guys know? How do you interpret that quote? Brand is the story, design is the storytelling. Anybody wants to write in the comment box what you guys think that means? So basically, how I interpreted that, and I think is very important, is that the way we brand ourselves is basically we're storytelling, whether we don't realize it or not. In whatever we do, we're storytelling. We're always storytelling in our social media, right? So, and this, brand is the story. So our brand is the story. The way I interpret that is my life, who I am, because we're all a brand. Okay, I don't know if you guys are aware, but we're all a brand on its own. So me, who I am, my life story is my brand, right? My story, my life story is my brand. And the design, so how I'm designing my brand is the storytelling. And we can expand a little more in that later on. But I want to take a quick pause and say thank you all for all the love and the support. And you guys are amazing, and I see you all. And I hope I don't get in trouble for saying thank you to Chris when he showed up, but it just made me really happy. I'm just so grateful that you guys are showing up to the show and showing up to Own It, and, you know, commenting and so into the topics and all of that. And thank you for connecting. I appreciate you all. I see the love, I see the support, and I'm very, 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 very grateful, you guys. So welcome to Own It, you guys. This is the show that happens here every single Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific Time, only and exclusively on the Meet Me app and in the sister apps of, you know, under the Meet Me umbrella. Only happens here. This is where you can always find me at the same time on Tuesdays. Please feel free to connect with me on my other social media platforms like Instagram and YouTube. But I'm so grateful that you're here. The intention behind Own It is for you and I to own the uniqueness of who we are and become the best versions of ourselves, right? So without further ado, I would love to welcome to the show my second guest of the day. We already talked to my first guest, and she's been a streamer for almost 4 years. And now we're going to talk to my second guest, who is a new streamer. She's a mom, she's a student, she's studying counseling, she loves music, loves the outdoors, and she loves self-care and discovery. Everybody, please welcome to Own It, Velma.
Hello. Thank you so much for welcoming me to the table.
Of course, I'm super happy and excited to meet you and that you're here. I know you've been supporting the show the last 2 weeks, and I'm so grateful that you have. So tell everybody, what are you doing here? A little bit about yourself.
Great. Yeah, I mean, I could probably just say ditto to most of what you and NorCal have said. I was like, yes, definitely. And I feel like reframing things the way that you just said about our brand being really who we are, you know, and then how we do it is the presentation. I have known nothing better to display that than when you're streaming. If you think that, you know, like you're coming into streaming and you're like, I'm going to be this personality, I'm going to do all these things, it's going to blow up in your face. I hate to say it. We got to come to the table with who we really are, because I don't want to sit across the table from someone who's like trying to read a script or sell me something. I want to be across the table with someone who is genuine and like knows what they're talking about, can admit when they're wrong. And so I feel like when I started to realize that I didn't have to do anything special, I was just myself, I feel like that's when I started to connect with people and started to see a lot of the beauty that is in this app and this platform. You know, because to me, one of the things that stands out for like my brand or who I am as a person is community and connecting with others. So like, this is truly just a really amazing opportunity to connect with people I would never have been able to see. People across the world, sharing ideas, learning from each other, seriously networking, you know, it's amazing. And I hear everyone here saying today that this is a journey of self-discovery, because when you are able to be yourself and take a little bit of that extra risk, then you start to grow and you become the better version of yourself. And so for me, you know, public speaking is not my forte, but maybe I will get a little bit better tomorrow, maybe a little bit better through this conversation. And not only is that skill something that I'm developing here, but I'm really like becoming more and more aware what are the most important things that stand out to me about who I show up as, both personally in relationships, but professionally as well.
Well, you're doing amazing, and I want to let you know that you're doing amazing for not liking public speaking. I could never tell.
Thank you very much. I'm working on maybe not starting with how it's like going poorly, but maybe we'll work towards something more positive. But old habits, we got to keep working on them. Yeah, I think that we can all relate to wanting to be our best and continuing to grow. And so that journey looks very different for each of us, but there are a lot of overlap. It's in deciding like, what is it in your life that's acceptable? NorCal talked about protecting your peace. And that really stood out to me because in the streaming world, for example, you really need to know your boundaries, like, and lay it out and teach other people about what is acceptable and not. And I feel like I'm bringing that up because that's part of your brand, who you are going to allow to have a conversation with you, like what you're going to give your energy to. And there's lots that we can speak about, which, it's kind of like a improv in a way, but the more you kind of sit back and realize you're not here to try to do a performance, you're here to just be yourself, then that's where that beauty comes up. And I feel like...
Yeah, in my opinion, that's another tip I wanted to give, and I know NorCal touched on that briefly, is being authentically yourself. Because in my experience, maybe other people do it differently, but in my experience, when I have been the most authentic, which is the last couple of years, I would say from the pandemic on, I have truly learned how to show up authentically on my socials. And that is when truly people have connected with me. Before that, because I've been in entertainment for a long time, but before that, it was more of, I would never post a story if I wasn't doing something cool, if I wasn't like, and now I'm like, okay, if I go have some tacos, I'll post about that. If I have a thought that I think would help somebody, I'm just going to talk about it. But that is losing the fear of showing up authentically because we fear of how people are going to start viewing us. And I think when we really let go of that fear of not being ourselves and truly start to show up as ourselves, and like NorCal shared earlier about her mom and all these things that she's going through, people are going to relate to her more because it's something relatable. And I'm sure you also, Velma, have your own story that makes you unique and different. And that is the whole point of this show, is to share with everyone how being uniquely yourself and owning who you are to the core really, really makes a difference in your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I feel like it's kind of going alongside, like I'm a counseling student. And so part of what you have to do in that study is to really do a deep dive into who you are. And then kind of like peeling back the layers. Oh, I didn't know that's how I felt. Maybe I want to work on that. Maybe I don't. Maybe that's what I want to move forward with. And I think that it's really brilliant because we're not all polished rocks here. We're not like every day is perfect. We're not like that. But instead, like the scars along the way are really what makes us unique and more beautiful and special. Like otherwise it's just something that you could have purchased that's fake, right? So
100%.
that's not who we are. We're real human beings.
Yeah, 100%. And welcome everybody to Own It. If you're just tuning in right now, this is the feature show with me, that Cuban girl, that happens here every single Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. Pacific time. I always have two guests who share their amazing stories with us. And the intention with Own It is for you and I to become the best versions of ourselves through owning the uniqueness of who we are. So today, right now I'm speaking with Velma. And the topic of the day today is branding. And so, Velma, I want to ask you, because I know you're going to college you're in school, like college, right? For counseling. So I can only assume that you want to, or you would need to brand yourself as a counselor at some point. Have you thought about this before?
Yeah. Because then there's like the huge field of counseling, but what does that mean? Like, what do I want to do with that? So we have like our specialties and everything. I am currently studying to work with youth and adolescents. And that comes from my experience working in education, special education with people with various needs. And I'm using this opportunity to try to make those changes that I've wanted to see in schools. Like there's a lot of people that are being told to kind of go down this route because this is the way that success happens. When really, actually there's like 1,000 ways to get up the mountain and we don't need to go up the same way. And so I'm really excited about being able to dive in deeper, say where I'm at right now. I don't have the polished like product at the moment. Instead, I'm like doing the brainstorming and the research and the networking to see what would actually be able to work for people.
100%. And I think you already are, like, for example, for me, I struggled with where I used to be when it came to branding a couple of years ago, because it's taken me a long time to really understand this and to put it into practice. So my biggest thing has been realizing that everything I've always done, it all comes together. Being in entertainment and being a model and other things that I've done have everything to do, for example, also with beauty and wellness. So that's why I have my online beauty and wellness business that I run as well. And it's all linked to wellness, to health, to all these things that also have to do with my entertainment career, right? But that's not the end of be all. Then it's streaming, and that all links together. And I always had a huge issue or dissonance, I guess, because I always liked doing different things. And I was like, okay, but how am I going to brand myself if I like doing all these different things? But then little did I know that everything is linked together. So that is, I guess, the major knowledge nugget that I want to drop on here today is we're all streamers. Most of us are streamers here, most of us. And I'm sure that whatever we're doing in our lives also links with streaming. And otherwise we wouldn't be here, right? I don't think.
Yeah, because you'd run out of things to say if you're just talking about one subject. But you'll never run out of things to say when it's about yourself and the journey and your passions, for sure.
Yeah, and it's a matter of knowing how to correctly brand ourselves as that. So do you have any specific way right now, Velma, that you're branding yourself in your personal life?
So I would say some of the things that you listed and NorCal listed were to have multiple ways that people can reach you. So like streaming only happens for me on like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and it's midnight to 3 a.m. Eastern time. Not everybody's going to be able to do that. But if you can, then that's great. But I also like connect it to my Instagram. And that's a whole other way that people can have full on chats and kind of see some of the things that I'm doing in my personal life and things like that. I think like the idea of boundaries and deciding like, what do you think? Like some people are here for like more of a, I don't know, reality TV show kind of feel maybe. And maybe some of us are more into protecting our peace and like talking about ways to have a conversation, So like for me, I don't know, if someone comes into the room and they're being inappropriate, then I have to think about how would I want to approach that person. It seems to me if someone coming in and is saying something inappropriate or hurtful, I think to myself about like the middle school bully that like is sitting back there and trying to get attention or make themselves feel better. And so I really come back down to like, that's not how to have a conversation, like you can do better. So like I think that links to my streaming, also links to like how to have conversations, how to like have these different relationships. And so as I'm kind of discovering my footing, that's it's getting better.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us, my love. Everybody go favorite Velma, and I'm gonna let you go, but I'm gonna bring you back in about 2 minutes, okay? So everybody go show some love. Thank you for sharing your story with us. I'll see you shortly.
Bye.
All right, you guys. Well, we are almost reaching the end of this featured hour. I want to say thank you again for absolutely everyone who showed up today, everyone who's, clicked on the hearts, sent some gifts, or simply commented or favorited. Everything makes a difference. Just your support and your energy of being here, supporting the show, supporting my guests, just having the conversations. It truly means a lot to me because I really do love doing Own It every Tuesday. So I just want to say thank you for that. You guys have kept me. This is honestly, I'm going to share something with you guys. This is the most consistent thing I have done in the last year, has been Own It. And I'm so grateful because I've always really struggled with consistency, even with working out. So this has been a school for me. This has been the most consistent thing ever. And I'm so grateful for that, and that you guys like it and you relate to it and you like being guests and coming on the show, So before I close the show, and do stay towards the very end, because I am going to be shouting out the gifters and supporters of the stream today. And whoever's my top gifter of the stream today will become my newest bouncer, which at the moment seems to be Chris Casper. But yes. So I just want to say thank you so much for supporting the show. And okay, we're gonna go to the tip of the day, and I hope that my tip of the day is a little bit juicy, because I wanted to give you guys tangible tips that you guys can take into action leaving the show today. Okay, I want to share with you things that I don't believe in. What's the word? Sorry, I have an accent, but hoarding things, like keeping things to yourself. I think we're meant to share, and if I can share something with you guys that's going to make your socials better, then I'm so happy to do that. So my first tip of the day today when it comes to branding is for you to sit down and write down what are your 5 pillars. So, and all that means is, very simply put, what are the 5 things that make you you? The 5 things that you love, the 5 things that you love talking about or sharing with people. For everyone is different. Like for me, because I model, I'm in entertainment, I'm a spokesperson. For me, it's beauty, it's wellness, it's inspiration. So what are those for you? What are those things that you love sharing with people? And write them down, and that's how you're going to create your brand moving forward. Everything you do, just do it around those things. Everything you share, do it up around those things. And then I want to share with you also that 3 apps that I love when it comes to creating content. And because, okay, this is what I want to share with you guys. I don't believe that you need to be a content creator. You don't need to have a professional camera. You don't need to have a professional videographer. Now with our phones, we can do so many things. As long as you have your phone and good lighting, you can create videos. And with these apps, I believe that you guys can make them better. So these are content creating apps, and they have their free version and their pro version. And those apps are, number 1, Canva. That is where I create all my YouTube thumbnails and a whole bunch of different things, and it's super easy. My second one, it's called Mojo, Mojo, and that's for videos. It has a whole bunch of reels and just templates and things that make your life easier. And the third one is Blink. And Blink, what Blink does is it's a caption app. So even if your video is just you talking, you add pretty captions to it, and it's really, really nice. And just stepping up your game when it comes to branding is going to make your life so much better as a content creator, as a streamer. Also, my other tip is, unless you have a job where you're not allowed to stream or do something like that, I would really advise you to have your Instagram be one Instagram, and share your streaming and share all the things you do in one Instagram. Because, well, number 1, I didn't want the headache, but also I think it's important if you're trying to really build a community and really build a name for yourself. bring why not just bring all your audiences together and just have it be one thing that you focus on, and every time you guys, anybody checks your socials, they can see exactly who you are and what you're about. So anyways, those were my tips for today's. I hope you guys really enjoyed them. And I'm gonna bring back both my guests for final thoughts, and then I'm going to be assigning the bouncing powers to people. So today we're gonna have, hopefully Legend still here, we're gonna have two bouncers. We're gonna have number 2 bouncer is going to be Legend, giving the bouncing powers to somebody because I owed that to him from a couple of shows ago. So let me invite my guest back. Is Velma here? Velma, are you here?
Hello again, everyone. Hello. The big,
welcome.
it's always an amazing box to be in.
Aw, thank you. I'm so glad that you like being on the show.
Velma, you are amazing and beautiful soul. I'm, good. It's great to meet you. I'm going to hit you with a favorite.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Favorited you both,
Absolutely.
obviously.
So thank you so much, ladies, for being part of the show today and showing up and sharing your knowledge and just putting yourselves out there. I truly appreciate both your energies and just being here. And yeah, this is something that I always do. NorCal knows. I always invite my guests back in the box for final thoughts, especially because I want you guys to meet each other. A lot of times my guests don't know each other. So I want you guys to introduce yourselves and keep connected. And I just wanted to close it. I guess NorCal mentioned this before, but I like asking people what is one thing that they can own about themselves that have truly helped them in their journey lately. And I don't know if you can think of something else different, NorCal, but yeah.
The only thing that resonates me is my peace and happiness. I want to own my peace and happiness because it's an inside job and no one is responsible for your peace and happiness. And whatever you have to change in your personal life, your career, your family relationships, your friend groups, streaming, block and protect, and just make sure that you take care of yourself first and foremost. Peace and happiness is probably the one thing that I would stress with anyone out there that's listening.
For me, I feel like it's that there's no one in the world that can be you. Like, they can study to be you, they can see all the things, but there will never be someone that could ever be you more than you. So if someone's like, you're not my cup of tea, say, I'm coffee anyways. See you later.
I like that.
I love that. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for being part of the show. I've truly enjoyed conversating with you both, and I'm really grateful that you wanted to be my guest. So yeah, thank you. And everybody, please go favorite them and check out their streams and everything they're about. Stay beautiful, stay high vibration, and thank you for sharing with me today and being on Own It.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank